Good morning. Today, we the curious kids of ninth standard are here to tell you about the incredible democracy and have a debate come discussion on why democracy.
We live in a democratic country. As we all know that all over the world people want democracy. Countries that were not democratic earlier are becoming democratic now. All great people have said nice things about democracy. Isn't it obvious that democracy is the best form of government? As we know that democracy gives people to choose their representatives and all civic rights. We can take the example of French Revolution. When France became democracy, it influenced all other countries, and so most of the countries started becoming democracy.
But Khushi, we should not accept something just because it is famous, just because everyone else accepts it. Isn't it possible that everyone is following a wrong path?
Yes, it is actually a wrong path. What has democracy given to our country? Almost half a century of democracy, and there is so much poverty in our country. Not only poverty, there's so much instability. For example, let's take a leader. A leader is chosen for 5 or 4 years, and he decides to make a project in which he decides to make flyovers or bridges to improve the transport conditions of the country, and these projects, they are quite big and they may take 8 to 10 years. But when another leader comes after 5 or 4 years, the leader abandons the previous leader's projects and starts his own project, and he decides not to complete the other leader's project, and after 5 or 4 years another leader gets chosen. And all these projects, they're left incomplete because all leaders think that we will not accomplish their projects, we will start our new projects, and this leads to instability and it loses the country's economic conditions and the money of the country.
But what has democracy sought to do with it? Do we have poverty or instability because we are democratic, or do we have poverty and instability despite being a democracy?
Whatever, how does this make a difference? The point is that this cannot be the best form of government. Democracy is all about chaos, instability, corruption, political power. Politicians fight among themselves. Who cares for the country? They fight only for money and power. They do not use the money for the betterment of the country or the people. They just use the money for their own luxurious life.
So what should we have instead? Go back to the British rule, invite some kings to rule this country. Do you want that those British people come and again start their atrocities and snatch away all the rights from us, and then we again start crying for democracy?
I don't know. I think what this country needs is a strong leader, someone who does not have to bother about elections and parliament. One leader should have all the powers. He should be able to do whatever is needed in country's interest. That alone can remove the corruption and poverty in this country.
This is called dictatorship.
What if that person starts using all these powers for himself and his family? What if he is corrupt himself, like Pervez Musharraf, who overthrew the democratically elected government and declared himself the dictator of the country? People elected the representatives, but the final power rested with army officials and Pervez Musharraf himself.
I am speaking only of the honest, sincere and strong leader like Nkrumah. He was an inspiration for Democrats in Africa, but unlike Nehru, he got himself elected president for life. Aung San Suu Kyi, despite being under house arrest, campaigned for democracy.
But that is not fair. You're comparing a real democracy with an ideal dictatorship. You must compare a real with a real and an ideal with an ideal.
A democratic government is a better form of government because it is more accountable. A democracy requires that the rulers have to attend to the needs of the people.
And as a democracy is based on consultation and discussion, many people sit and discuss and are able to point out mistakes in any decision. Thus, democracy improves the quality of decision making. This reduces the chances of rash and irresponsible decisions.
Okay, That looks sounds more convincing. And I guess after hearing all this, I guess democracy is a better form of government because it allows to correct our own mistakes. Like people, sometimes they choose a representative and after some time they realize that that representative is really very corrupt. For the next time they become aware and they carefully take their decisions and they get a chance to improve their mistakes.
Democracy enhances the dignity of citizens as it gives equal rights to all people, including rich, poor, Dalits, lower castes, OBCs, etc. Every person, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, race, gets the equal right to vote with equal value. Every citizen has the right to express their views and opinions. Thus, now we can say or conclude that democracy is a better form of government.